What up, how's it going? This is Axel Maaw from Become Top 1%, and today we have another awesome guest. His name is Sergio Cantore, and he specializes in healing. So he will tell us much more. He's a top 1% in the thing that he's doing, and he will give us some knowledge today. Awesome. Sergio, how are you? How's it going?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you very much for having me here, Axel. And hey, dear listener, thank you very much for being here. It's going well.
We're thanking you as well. And first question, let's start immediately. Tell us a little bit what you are doing.
So I'm a healer. Healer is someone who actually helps somebody else activate healing faculties in his own body. That's what you call a shaman, for example. I like to call myself a karma burner. Karma are the loops that repeat in our lives. So you may end up always in the same situations in your relationship, or your body may always be sick of the same illnesses, so on and so forth. Maybe in business, you keep finding the same wrong clients, or you have a ceiling you cannot go over. And I have my method to burn through these ceilings, to burn through these self-fulfilling prophecies, these loops that keep you trapped in a life that is not yours. And so that's what healing is all about. Specifically for me, I healed myself from an incurable illness that I've been having for my entire life.
Okay.
And a few chronic pains that I had in my body, in my back, in my sacrum, like I had sciatic nerve inflammations a few years ago. Back pains and other organ pains and a bunch of stuff, right? That is very unpleasant to have. So healing is a 360-degree concept. I apply it mostly to physical health and relationships.
And this is, just to make a point, is body and, it's physical and mental. It's healing both.
It's all connected. If you're sick in the body, you are sick somewhere in the mind, and you're also sick somewhere in your energy body.
Okay.
Now, energy may seem like a very airy, concept, but energy is actually a thing. Everything is made of energy, as we know, for since at least 100 years, right? Quantum physics has discovered it. And so if you consider your body, your physical body, as a representation of your energetical body, it's possible for you to go in the blockages that are causing the sicknesses that you have. Now, in my specific case, I had this condition in my nose for which I couldn't breathe for 26 years. I'm 28 now, almost 29. And I had 5 surgeries, all sorts of treatments, vaccines, and so on and so forth. No doctor could actually help me out. And then I started practicing letting go, which is what I read in the book Letting Go by David Hawkins. We were speaking about this right before, right?
Yeah.
And then I did it so much. I developed my own way of doing it. I called it direct surrender. It's my own method of doing letting go. I tweaked it, let's say. And I applied it to my sickness in my nose, and eventually my nose opened up by releasing the physical blockages I had in my body. And I've been breathing for 3 years now.
Okay, so it's a 3-year course that you, not course, but a 3-year experience that you have right now. And so
I have a 6 years experience. I've been breathing for 3 years. Like my nose opened up 3 years ago. Before that, I practiced for 3 years, 4 years, something like this. It took a while.
So it took you 3-4 years to get to the result of opening your nose canals. I don't know exactly how to call it, but and then to breathe.
The nose epithelium.
Yeah. Okay, that's actually that actually it's awesome, because you're putting already like some points here to discuss about it. So one of the things is nothing comes easily, right? Everything takes a lot of work. It's not like, I'm gonna do it for 2 weeks and boom, I'm healed, right?
That's an interesting concept. It depends, because I see like very often believing something to be difficult is a belief, and so you make your life more difficult than it has to be because you have some pre-notions, right, about how you should be doing something. At the same time, it takes indeed a lot of diligence and discipline if you want to achieve something important. In my case, it took me probably 1,000 hours of meditation just on the nose to open it up. I remember there was a period of my life where for 6 months I was meditating up to 5 hours a day just on the nose to open it up.
There was a period where you were meditating up to 5 hours a day, just on that, just thinking and just focusing on the nose.
On the nose and everything connected to the nose, because the blockage very often, the sickness is caused by blockages everywhere in the body. In my case, it was nose, then it was here on the collarbone, here on the shoulder, in the heart, in the lungs, especially. It went down in the leg. There is a lot of exploration, let's say. I did in my body and all the connections that there are. Everything is connected in the body, by the way. So it took, I don't know if 1,000 hours, but hundreds and hundreds of hours for sure.
This is super interesting. It's like almost a gangster, like Vipassana type of experience. By the way, I did it, the Vipassana thing, the 10-day silent meditation. I did it back in Vienna in 2018. So now it's a couple of years ago. And did you do it?
No, not yet.
Okay, the Vipassana. Every person has a different, of course, sensation. It explores different parts of the mind, but definitely 10 days silent there, like the only thing that you do. But it was like many hours a day of meditation, don't remember now, but maybe 10 hours a day of meditation. So that's why when you say like 5 hours, and when you were doing, for example, your 5 hours, right, a day, actually it was like a period, or it was like one time only that you did 5 hours? How was that?
Usually I do 2 to 3 hours. I amped it up to 5 hours because it was very focused on my nose. Like, it was a moment in my life when I decided I'm not going to do anything else until I can breathe, because it was just getting in the way so much that I couldn't stand it anymore.
And you were doing like chunks of 3 hours, or it was like 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour?
Depends. Mostly chunks of 3 hours. Yes, like starting in the morning, 2-3 hours in the morning, and 2-3 hours in the night. Yes, and as it was needed also during the day.
Was it difficult? Did you feel like difficulty? You know, that it was like kind of, you know, heavy in doing it, or you were like super easy?
No, I felt pulled towards it. It just felt the best thing to do, in the most the thing that was making most sense for me to do in that moment. It just made so much sense. It was also urgent, we can say, because if you can't breathe, it's difficult to be alive if you can't breathe.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So it just made a lot of sense.
Before you were breathing mostly with your mouth, then?
Only, yes.
Yes. And
so
then your throat,
eating was difficult.
Your throat was every time kind of, you know, you felt like pain in the throat or something like this, right?
Because, no, I wasn't feeling pain in the throat, but I couldn't sleep properly at night. I couldn't practice sports properly. I couldn't even meditate properly, because I was meditating from before. But if your nose doesn't breathe, meditation is difficult too. So since I wanted to meditate a lot, I had to meditate to block the nose to meditate even more.
And what about
better, we can say.
And what about classic medicine? I guess that you went to doctors and no one could really find a solution.
I had 5 surgeries.
Whoa, 5 surgeries.
Plus, on top of that, I had like a specific vaccine and more treatments and more injections and a lot of medications over the years. I tried everything. For that.
And the thing that really was, you know, that really was the solution was the letting go this heaviness inside your, I guess, brain and spirit and soul and body and so on.
In my body, it was mostly in the physical body, It was a bunch of emotions, but also physical pains that were, like, the nose was just reacting to unfelt pressure inside the body.
So when we are talking about letting go, we're not just talking about emotional release, but also a body type of
also
release.
Physical release, yes.
Physical release.
Yes. Emotions are stored in the body. There is a difference. Like, physical pain and physical tension is more dense than emotions. It's easier to feel it. It's easier to let it go, in my opinion, because you can grasp it better. Like, if you beat your hand against the wall, it's going to hurt you, right? You can do letting go on the physical pain. And reduce it. The pain is going to go away much faster if you stay on it, okay? With an emotion, let's say you're angry or you are afraid, it's more difficult to catch. It's more subtle as an energy. But still, if you feel it properly, if you do it, it goes away.
Right.
So you can get liberated from that too.
I assume that emotionally it's easy or kind of easy when maybe there's something strong, like, oh, someone did something to you and you're like, oh, I hate this person. So maybe it's a little bit easier to recognize maybe the sensation. But when it's something like maybe, I don't know, that comes from your childhood traumas and so on.
Yeah. So mostly though, what happens, like, let's say somebody makes you angry for whatever reason, it's very likely that anger comes from a childhood trauma. So it's always the same anger that spins in the body. So if you let go of the anger today, you are healing the child of the past too. And that's why you get angry, because you got hurt back in the days.
Right. Makes a lot of sense. And how did you start it with like, when is the first time that you heard about letting go, and how did you got close to it and then decide to start it and fully immerse to it? Yeah.
So back many years ago, 2017, I was on my dating journey. I was improving my dating skills. And then I stumbled on a book called The Power of Now, which is all about presence and being present and so on. And it awakened in me a lust, let's say, a longing for spiritual search, for enlightenment, let's say. And then I started reading more and more books about it, and then I stumbled upon letting go. I remember I was in China. I was training in meditation with a Chinese teacher, but I didn't like it because it was very complicated as a meditation. I visualized a lotus petal that is opening like this and this, and it was too complicated. I ended up reading the book Letting Go. I just find it on Amazon, and I just get sucked in it. I just knew that was for me. As I start reading, I go, okay, no, this is my thing to do.
Yeah, we're talking about the Hawkins, right?
Hawkins, yes.
Yeah, I remember when the first page is actually very, very captivating, because it's like, oh, I tried talisman healing, I don't know, crystals, Satanist, Christian, Buddhism, I don't know, all the things, nothing works.
Nothing works.
I think it's very, very captivating in the beginning of the book.
Indeed. And that's how I like things to be. I like them to be very simplistic, as simple as possible. Many things, like people do yoga, people do mantra chanting, people do all sorts of things because they want to feel better, right? But these things make you feel better as an effect, okay? If you want to feel better, the most straight thing you can do is to go in your pain and release it. If you release the pain, if you release the stuck emotion, you're going to feel better automatically, and it's going to last. You don't depend on the technique to feel good.
This is
actually
awesome.
Technique, direct surrender. Direct means you go straight where it hurts the most, and you stay in it until it's gone. without any fluff, right?
I believe it's perfect and it's awesome because indeed I tried it myself and I can say that you actually feel some healing when you really feel maybe this heaviness, and then at one point you try to release it, and somehow the thing works because you kind of feel something. I mean, you feel something is going away. So this is actually a beautiful thing. Who could have known? Like after I read the book, I was like, it's a thing that I don't know. It started. I knew myself in 2019, I think, because a friend told me. Actually, perhaps you also know this friend, but whatever. And I will not say any names. You know, you never know. But the thing is that he gave me this book and he told me, "Oh, try this, and everything." We all started with the pickup, you know, with the dating scene, and so on.
Yes,
yeah, it was actually
crazy, right? How pickup leads you to enlightenment.
Yes, it's actually pickup leads to enlightenment. Yeah, we're all gonna become Buddhas one day.
Eventually, right?
Awesome. So I love the fact that you started, you had this continuation, you cultivated. Now, to talk about becoming top 1%, right? How disciplined, how focused a person has to be to become, to maintain, to not let it go. I mean, let it go in this case seems like no, to not just lose yourself and stop doing it and whatever. Like how to make this habit going on.
So you want to recognize the priorities you have in life, and you want to recognize what you really want to commit to, what's important for you. For me, doing letting go just felt like the right thing to do. It felt like the thing I should have been doing with my life. There have been periods where I did other practices, other techniques. I did it less than in the beginning, but then I always came back to that in the end. I just felt it as mine. So if you're, let's say, passionate about something, or you feel you're called to do that, it's obviously much easier to be disciplined, right? So ideally, you want to find something that you like doing, that you feel it's for you. And if you haven't found it yet, go search for it. Go start asking yourself to find it, right? Start wishing to find it. Then, of course, it wasn't easy, right? To stick to the practice. It can be very easy to get distracted. It can be very easy to forget about it. Your mind resists a lot. It's very, very subtle work, actually. So I just made a commitment that I wanted to have no pain in my body. And what's interesting is that the body tells you very precisely what is blocking you in your life. It tells you very precisely where the issue is. If you have an issue...
when you listen, how? Because it doesn't tell you like in a specific way. So you listen.
Let's say you want to approach a woman and you feel anxiety. Your body's going to tell you where the anxiety is. Maybe you feel it in the chest. Maybe you feel something in the solar plexus. Maybe you feel something heavy in the stomach and you can't go and speak to her.
Right.
Your body's telling you, hey, there is something here that's holding you back. Okay? If you remove that blockage first, then going to talk to the woman is going to be much easier. That's an example, right? That's what I did with my nose. I was like, why is my nose stuck? Oh, because I have something here and here and here. Yeah. And I made a commitment. I just made it a priority. You want to be very clear about what your priorities are in life. I decided, okay, until this is healed, I'm not going to focus properly on anything else. It's my top one priority until it's done. And so I did. And it felt right for me because it didn't come immediately. I've been sick for many years and I've been practicing letting go for years before I made this commitment. Because I had other things I wanted to resolve first. I had other priorities before. So you want to ask yourself, what's really important for me? And then commit to it. Just do that a lot. A lot. And it's going to be easier for you, but on discipline, sorry, because I had another podcast on discipline at some point. So I believe you want to be smart about the way you have discipline. So for me to meditate every day, I didn't start doing 1 hour a day. I started with 5 minutes a day.
Right.
I just made it very easy for myself to do it.
Right.
And then I gained momentum. I got to the point where it was just obvious. I would meditate every single day. And so the time of meditation increased every day. With this solid foundation of having a habit that works for me, then I added in the super deep work that I started doing. So you want to find what works for you and what you really want to do and so on and so forth. You also want to make it easy for yourself to be disciplined. Otherwise, you burn out. If I tell you to go and meditate for 1 hour a day, after 1 week, you don't do it anymore.
No, for sure.
So
yeah, 100%.
To my clients, I teach them to do it for a few minutes a day in the beginning, in a way that fits in your schedule, it fits in your life. Then it starts taking a life of its own. You just realize how useful it is for you. And so you just do it more and more.
Yeah, it's all about habits, right? Like even if you do 1 minute, but 7 days a week, I mean, every day, but 1 minute, you just create this habit of just like sitting, I don't know, every day, 7 a.m., just for 1 minute, but every day at 7 a.m., you just do it. Then you can increase the time. Then it's going to be 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 hour, 7 hours, whatever. But it's all about the habit of starting, which is the most difficult part, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, starting it's always like the most complicated.
And then like knowing why you're doing it. For me, it was a very clear incentive because I couldn't breathe. it became very clear to me I wanted to do it. Okay, what is the incentive that you have to do this sort of thing? What do you like about it? Why is it useful for you? You want to be clear on this.
I assume that this is
much easier.
I assume that this is also true if someone wants, for example, to say, "Oh, I want to make money. I want to become a businessman. I want to." That I believe is still the same practice, and it works even for that. Correct?
Pretty much. You need good clarity on why you're doing it, what you're doing exactly, why is it useful and beneficial to you. And then you want to start establishing the habits in a way that works for you. Because again, if you work too much, you may burn out or you may lose yourself on the way. It happened to me many times, right? I am self-employed. I work as a coach. So it happened to me many times to work a lot and then burn out.
Right.
I work a lot, see some results, but not the kind of results I wanted, and then
Right.
change strategy, right? So you want to find your own way to do this, but you want to be clear on why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's how it is, in my opinion.
Perfect. I mean, this is beautiful. Why? The reason. What is this reason? Why are you doing? Why do you want to do it? Exactly. What do you want to? So it's always in a way a matter of goals. Like, what's my goal? What do I want to achieve?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say so. Yes.
I believe, Sergio, that we could go. By the way, it's funny that we both are Italians, but of course we do it in English, so we spread to the word is in English.
Italian accent, yes.
Well, you have a very Italian name, Sergio. My name, being half Argentinian.
Yes.
Half Argentinian.
Yes.
Is Axel. But anyway, there are definitely millions of things that we could talk about, and I guess that we could go on for hours and hours and never stop, because all these topics are very beautiful and interesting, and if a person is really in the way of becoming a better self, is definitely the topic that you have to talk about all day long, in a way, right? These and becoming top 1% and getting success, and how to put this mindset of a winner, right? Like, it doesn't matter the topic, but really focusing in this, because of course, if we are here for hours and hours talking about Netflix and I don't know, stupid things, useless thing, then of course
it must be meaningful for you. It must be something that is meaningful for you.
Yeah.
No matter the reason. If you like painting for whatever reason that is meaningful for you, then commit to that.
Absolutely.
Eventually, you will become good at it. I now I'm writing a book about letting go, but I wasn't intending to do so when I started, of course. But I just found myself doing it, so much of it, and learning so much about it, and by teaching it, seeing the results on my clients, I was like, okay, yeah, I have something that needs to be written. I have something that needs to be shared about this.
Yeah, this is
I
actually
wasn't
awesome.
intending it in the beginning.
And now at the end, you're also going to say the name of the book, if you already have the name and how to get it and so on.
It's not out yet. It's not out yet, but it will be out soon. It's called How to Actually Let Go.
How to actually go. Okay, it's a manual.
It's
awesome.
specifics. It's a manual, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. We're gonna talk just a little bit. I mean, you're gonna say or remind it in a few minutes when we're gonna be, ending the call. But I'm gonna try to ask you a couple of questions before we go, because as I told you, we could be here talking for a long time. But so tell me 2 or 3 things. I'm an expert in networking, in everything that is charisma, confidence, and also fashion, right? So these are my main topics. How do you feel? How is this really? How do you think this can help you in your life? Do you think fashion is something that helps in your life? What are your beliefs in that? The image.
Look, who knows? Maybe one day I will be your client, because I do have a lot of margin of improvement for fashion indeed. I believe it's important because to me, fashion is a way to express yourself. It's a way to express your authenticity.
Right.
Okay, so it's important for you to know how to dress in a way that you feel like you're pulling out the way you are. Okay,
yeah.
And I believe this is something that has not been my priority until now. To be honest, one day I'm sure it will be. One day it will be, because I know it's important. Okay, so far I just put it aside, because for me it's like, I gotta study fashion, I gotta see the colors for myself. I don't care about it so much, but it is indeed very, very important. Very, very important. It's a soul need, the way I see it.
It's beautiful because it's the same thing that we were discussing before. That a person always needs to be in the moment and knows what maybe is the best for the person in that specific moment.
Exactly.
Maybe there's the body or the mind that is in a way in this moment. I know that I need this, and I'm going to do it. Yeah. It's awesome. What about networking? How important do you think is networking in your life? Knowing people, knowing clients, knowing girls, or girlfriend or whatever.
So I believe it's very important, because business is made by people. We are all living together here. So if you meet people, that's how wealth is going to come to you. That's how good energy is going to come to you. That's how you're going to meet friends. That's how you're going to meet clients. You got to know how to network properly. And so it's a baseline skill, the way I see it. It's super important. Super important. Like the best opportunities that I had in my life, and the best I've seen my friends and my colleagues back in university having, they were all from networking events.
Right.
Very often, the right opportunities come to you through your network, not through sheer effort.
Right.
Even as an entrepreneur, usually the entrepreneurs who have the most success are the ones who have the best network, not the ones who necessarily work the hardest. Now, of course, you gotta work hard too. Yes, that's how it was for me too. Like all my clients from coaching in the beginning of my practice, they all came from my network.
Right.
Okay? So that's very important.
It's always fundamental to every time make your network bigger, bigger, bigger if you want to become the top 1% in whatever the field that you're doing.
It makes everything easier.
Yeah.
The more people you know in that field, the more information you're going to take, the more people are going to help you out, the more you can help people out. So I have a big network when it comes to healing, when it comes to shamans, when it comes to people who work with the tools that I work with. And so every time I have a doubt, every time I have something, I have plenty of people I can ask for help. I have plenty of people I can learn from. And that, of course, is a plus. And that's what makes me, in a sense, an expert too. That contributes a lot to my expertise.
Yeah. Of course, the topic is very long and we could be talking just about this. Yeah. It's all, we could write a book only about this, but of course we have just like a few minutes. But what are your opinion instead in everything that is about charisma, confidence, and dating in general? You know, having this charisma to be more fascinating for people.
That's super important too, because that's also an expression of yourself. It's also an expression of yourself. Our lives are made of relationships. Unless you're a monk meditating and doing vipassana forever, your lives are made of relationships. And even in that case, you are relating to the environment around you. You never stop relating. You are always relating at least to one person, which is yourself.
Right.
So if you know how to relate, you know how to live life. That's the way I see it. And that's one of the most painful areas to work through, in my opinion. I started my dating journey back in the days, and listen, meeting women, dating women, learning how to approach them, learning how to relate to them has been very challenging for me. It still is. It still is. The deeper I go, the more I find like my blockages and my issues with this. But it's also the area of my life that gave me some of the best fulfillments I ever had. The presence of a woman, the depth of connection with a woman, that's something we all long for. As men and women long for the same, right? And if you don't know how to handle that, if you don't know how to work on it, if you don't have a plan for that, you're going to suffer. It's going to be difficult for you, right? And regarding charisma, it just gives you satisfaction when people remember you for good things. It gives you, it's like fashion. You make a good impression, you help other people. It's satisfying. It's just satisfying. Being able to speak your mind and say what you want to say when you want to say, that's what gives you satisfaction too. It's once again about expression, right? All of you, I believe, in myself included, some of the worst pains in our life come from not having spoken out our truth when it was the case.
Right.
So if you don't know how to do that, you're going to suffer.
I'm sure that letting go and charisma can be a very good team, you know, like letting go to release your charisma, to release some of your,
Exactly. They are. Because if you are not free-spoken, if you're not authentic, if you're not yourself when you deal with others, it's because you have blockages, you have fears.
Right.
You are afraid of something. If you don't let go of that fear, it's going to be very difficult for you to be real.
Right.
And being real is the only thing that actually works.
Which is what other people see. You being real, being authentic, like, being, you know, express yourself.
Like if you try to be someone else, you're going to have a lot of competition. If you are just you, there is only you. So you're not going to be liked by everybody. But those who like you are going to like you a lot because there is only you like that.
I love it. I love it, Sergio. But yeah, we are running out of time today. But let me close with my beautiful final question, which is, what is your golden tip, golden suggestion, something that maybe you use in your life that can help other people in their life and so on?
Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself because you're going to fuck up sometimes.
Yeah.
So be ready to be kind to yourself, because if you're not, you're going to suffer even more. So welcome the human experience as it is, with kindness and love. Don't try to harm yourself more than necessary.
So it's like also forgiving?
As well, absolutely. It's forgiving, it's being there for yourself. It's being there for your pain, it's being there for your negative emotions, it's forgiving, exactly.
I love it. Thank you very much for this. Yeah, because sometimes we forget to do that, right? To be kind with ourselves.
All the time.
Not sometimes, yeah, you're right. All the time, yeah. All the time. Oh, stupid, right?
Exactly. That just makes you more stupid, in fact.
Yeah, it did. You just attract more of that, right?
Yes. You resist. That's the thing. You don't accept. If you don't accept yourself, you just stay the way you are. The trick to change is to accept however you are in that moment, and that will allow you to change. If you don't accept how you are, you're not going to change, because what you resist persists, says Carl Jung.
Very true. I love it. It's a very beautiful drop the mic moment, even this one. What you resist persists, so definitely be kind with yourself. Thank you very much, Sergio. It was really a pleasure to have you today with us and having a better grasp of the letting go on the subject and what you're doing, all the healing that it's very important for each person in the planet, because we all need to, you know, be kind to ourselves and so on. And now tell us, if someone wants to work with you and find you, also the book that you were talking about, if you can tell us how someone can contact you.
So you can follow me on Instagram. You find me as d.karmaburner. d.karmaburner. On my Instagram, when I release the book, it's going to be soon. I will also have you know there, so you can follow me there. Or you find me as Sergio Cantore on Facebook. That's how you can contact me.
Thank you very much, Sergio. It was a pleasure to have you here. And so at this moment, I'm just going to say you bye and see you next time.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Everybody, become top 1% with Axel, Maaw, and Sergio. See you next time.